Hello and welcome to Coffee Lovers TV. Joseph Robertson here, Coffee Lovers Magazine. It's been a good while since I've done one of these, and it's time to get back in. I'd actually intended on doing this particular video a couple weeks ago, right after Christmas, and then I got sick and I couldn't taste anything, which is kind of a problem when you're tasting coffee. So my apologies to Mike and Jake over at Anchorhead. You gave me this lovely coffee, and I'm just now finally getting to making that video. But a big thanks to Anchorhead. This is what we're going to be enjoying today. The fellows over there are awesome. They make some really good coffee, and they gave me their holiday blend, which is pretty cute. Yeah, winter warmer holiday blend. They got the little stockings. The region is the candy cane forest. Grower is Papa Elf, and the altitude is the North Pole. And this includes coffees. They did include actual regions of the varieties of Kenya, Brazil, and Nicaragua. The process being Christmas magic. So I have been enjoying this. You can see the bag is almost done. I have been enjoying this coffee. And I am going to name the tastes at the beginning because the very first time I had this, I saw those, and that's instantly what popped in my head as I was drinking the coffee. So it seems prudent to introduce you as well. Candy corn, candy canes, and syrup. And when I looked at this on the bag, I thought, okay. And then I tasted the coffee and I said, that's pretty spot on. Interesting. So I'm going to talk about that as I drink it. I'm also going to brew the coffee on the show today. I thought it'd be pretty simple to just put that through here. I'll either do that or speed it up or something like that. I'm not going to make you sit here for 4 minutes and watch coffee brew. But you can, I'm actually not even sure if this is still available on the site. I probably should have checked before recording. But Anchorhead always has really great coffees. So if this coffee is still available on their site, it'll be linked below. If not, they'll still be linked below, and you can catch another one of their great coffees. It's all really good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and brew this, and then we'll have a taste and see how we do. All right. There we go. Smelling good. So the Kenya and the Brazil in this would lead me to expect some savory notes, maybe some nuts, maybe some. Kenya can often provide tomato-like flavors, but I've also had plenty of coffees from those regions that are not like that, as processing techniques are evolving. People are making really interesting stuff. The Nicaraguan here has given me things like tangerine before, and that sort of thing. So I would think that we might find some sense of fruit-like flavors, probably a lot of brightness. I know that Anchorhead does roast on the lighter side of things, so as far as the coffees that I've had from them, so that wouldn't surprise me. Let's have a smell. So I'm going to smell the roasted coffee as well. I do smell a little bit of peanut in there, and there's maybe a sense of some kind of fruit as well. So that's probably the Brazil and the Nicaragua. Maybe a bit of the Kenya as well. Kenya can do that. To be fair, this was roasted a little while ago, so we're approaching a month since roast, maybe about 3 weeks now, which it'll still produce a really good cup of coffee. A lot of people strictly stay within the that sort of 2 weeks window, and try to make it smaller than that. But I've had plenty of really good cups of coffee from bags a couple weeks longer than that. Usually if it's a month or longer, I can start really telling just by the aroma that it's done. But this is still smelling really fantastic. Aroma on the brew is quite sweet and syrupy, actually. Just a note, so on here there's lots of like candy cane stuff, so I'm thinking like peppermint. Well, there's no mint aroma from this. Definitely getting the syrup and candy, maybe candy corn. Maybe that's like the nuttiness of the Brazil and the sweetness. Not quite candy corn. Candy corn is super sugary sweet. But the thing is, whenever you're like describing a taste, you're saying this tastes or smells like candy corn. It's not that it encompasses all the taste and experience of a candy corn. It's just some part of that candy corn is like it, or rather, the smell and taste of this makes you think of the candy corn because there's something that overlaps there. And that's going to be the same with the taste. It's a little warm yet, but we'll give it a shot. The thing that marks this most for me is just brightness. It's very bright. And it has this fascinating edge to it that's a lot like peppermint, a lot like a candy cane. But it's the bright edge of the candy cane without the mint. So it's almost like peppermint, but without the mint. But that sort of mintiness of the candy cane. Again, without the flavor of the mint. I don't know how to describe that. Like just this, it leaves this sense in my mouth that I have just had peppermint. That's what it does, and that's pretty fascinating. It's really cool, actually. Definitely has nice sweetness. It is balanced, so it's a brighter coffee. Definitely stays in the brighter coffee side of things. It doesn't. So sometimes I'll have a coffee that has this nice bright fruit edge and then like a deep chocolate kind of on the on the other side. So it has this kind of rounded sort of experience where you do have this brightness and this deep chocolate. This has brightness and like a real smooth sweetness, but it's still in the brighter side of things. Maybe kind of like how really filtered maple syrup is smooth and sweet but bright. Maybe that's how it's like. This isn't like maple syrup or getting into those kind of deeper caramel. It doesn't hit the deeper caramel or molasses at all. But yeah, the best thing I can say is think about having a mint of any kind really. But like if you've enjoyed a candy cane, try to remove the flavor of mint from the equation and just think about how it feels. And that's how that's kind of what this is like. So really cool that they were able to put together a blend of coffees that is like candy cane for the holidays. So yeah, this was their Christmas blend, their holiday blend. I was gonna do this whole thing with a bunch of holiday blends, and then that just didn't pan out. But that's all right. The holiday blends are always fun to play around with. Another good example, the other one. I can't remember if I did a video on it. We certainly did a show on Coffee Lovers Radio with that one, and that was Jesse's Winter Lake blend. He takes a completely different approach to making his blend than Anchorhead. So I would say Anchorhead went about making their blend, trying to make something that was very, like, I don't know, emblematic of Christmas. Candy canes and Christmas kind of go together really well. So if you can make a coffee that's like candy canes, that's pretty awesome as a holiday blend, as a Christmas roast. That's really cool. The approach Jesse takes is making a blend that goes really well with all the stuff that he is going to be enjoying around Christmas. So a coffee that pairs really well with your turkey dinner, if that's what you're going to have, or your pie, or any number of other Christmas treats. So this would be something maybe standalone. Oh, I'm sure this would go very well with foods, but it's kind of like a standalone creation. that this certainly does fit well in with the holidays. I mean, even get the bright, the bright on the edges of my tongue, the brightness that like a candy cane gives me, versus something that you drink it and say, I really want to eat a piece of pumpkin pie with this thing. I'm not sure this coffee would go too well with a pumpkin pie. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot that goes really well with pumpkin pie, so maybe that's not a fair example. It's just that this has a dominant brightness to it that might make it a challenge to mix with other things. I haven't tried, but I would also say that if you are the kind of coffee drinker who expects a more deeper, roasty coffee kind of taste experience, then this is not going to be the kind of thing that you're going to enjoy, probably. This is certainly on the brighter end. If you do like experimenting with that, though, and they still have these coffees available, I definitely recommend it. There are very few. I go through a lot of coffee. I get a lot of coffees from people. There are very few bags of coffee I go completely through. This will be one of them. I've been enjoying this in the mornings this winter. After all, it's cold outside. I don't know. There's something interesting about a crisp, bright coffee on a crisp, cold day. That's the Anchorhead Winter Warmer Holiday Blend with the lovely socks. Check it out on their website, the link below. Please do subscribe to the show. Don't miss any upcoming episodes. New Year started, getting back on track with lots of cool stuff. CoffeeCon's just around the corner, and we're going to have a lot of fun this year, and don't want you to miss anything. So just hit subscribe below, join us, and also love it if you'd comment on the video. Anything stands out to you, any thoughts you have, ideas, questions, just stick them in the video, below the video, and I do make an effort to respond to everyone who comments, so always happy to chat.